Okay, our next question, sent to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from Mark Horowitz. Dear Jim Cornette, thank you for everything that you have done and continue to do. Your knowledge of all things professional wrestling and other interests are above and beyond anyone in the biz. I was watching some old WWF Raw footage from a certain network, and I love your commentary, especially when my uncle, Barry Horowitz, was on the Raw in 1993. He mostly lived in Florida. He denies his roots here in the armpit of America known as New Jersey. My dad, Barry's brother, took me to wrestling shows here in New Jersey, and we went to the Nashville area one year when I was in middle school. He was working for Smoky Mountain Wrestling at the time. Did you get along with Barry? Did you find that he was a decent pro wrestler? I haven't talked to him in 14 years due to a family fallout.
Oh, no.
Like MJF, I'm better than Barry Horowitz. What are your thoughts on my uncle when he was actively in pro wrestling? It's a shame that he's not cool with basically all of his family anymore. Thank you, Jim. I love your podcasts.
Uncle Barry. I liked Barry Horowitz. He was a heck of a guy. And the time that he worked for me in Smoky Mountain, he was living, as I recall, in Nashville. Because obviously I wasn't having him drive up from Florida. But worked with him. He was still doing WWF shots when I was up there, 93 through whatever. He was, as I said, he was working Smoky Mountains shows for me because he was there in Nashville at the time. I think he had been working maybe the Memphis territory. And I always got along great with Barry. He was never late, always had a great match, was a great worker, interesting conversation. And especially so many people remember him now for the loser gimmick or the losing streak gimmick, I should say. And he was one of the more famous enhancement guys, as we say, on WWF TV during the, late 80s, early 90s there. But he was a heck of a worker. He got used in Florida in a spot. He got used in Memphis a time or two in a couple of the territories. He was a competent enough wrestler and good looking, enough athlete that, you could use him in a spot. But when he got pigeonholed in that role of always putting guys over on WWF TV because he was so good, he was so fucking good, they wanted him on their TV to put their guys over. But unfortunately, it typecast him there to where, as time went on, not only were there no more territories, but you couldn't really use Barry Horowitz in a main event because it was almost like a rib that, either the losing streak or he's always losing on television. But I liked Barry, didn't have any problem. Don't know what the family issues are about. But he was a nice guy and a very good wrestler.
He was used well in Global too when Eddie was there booking.
Yeah, Eddie Gilbert really liked him. He was an easy guy to like, and he worked hard, and he was very, enthusiastic about the business. It's just he got, and they actually even, I think they didn't they do they did a losing streak gimmick in Florida with him before he even did all those jobs on WWF, just because he had that personality where, as an underneath heel getting beat and being made fun of, people would be attracted to it. And then you could do shit with it. But I'm sorry, as I said, about the family fallout. If only there was some way, Brian, if there was some way that what was this young man's name? Was it David Horowitz?
Mark Horowitz.
Mark Horowitz. David Horowitz is a consumer advocate. He might be related also. But Mark Horowitz, since they haven't been all together as a family in so long, if there was only some way that they could get a picture, or even better yet, a painting, a professionally painted painting of the entire family. If there was only some way that they could send pictures of the different pictures of these different people in their family and then have a whole family portrait painted like those folks were together all in the same place at the same time. What a great idea that would be. If only I forgot. There is a place. PaintYourLife.com.